What a roller coaster week it was. Not sure if the ride is over for a while, though. At least it's Elvis week through next Saturday. Thank you. Thank you very much. Big report days are Wednesday and Thursday next week, and you are listening to the Arbitrage Trade Weekend News. I'm your host, Darin Harper, bringing you 3 things you need to know for this weekend and an interview, Understanding the Yips. And also check out the winner and loser this week in the market. The 10-year ran up to 3.95, and the 10-2 split is down to around mid-5s. WTI crude rises to the mid-76s. Here's 3 things. Due to rising insurance costs and association fees, many condo residents in South Florida are leaving. The condos are having to put aside reserves to pay for the structural repairs that are not up to new safety regulation standards. After a condo collapse in 2021 in Miami, the regulations ticked up. A report showed that condo association fees are up over 60% since 2021. Those trying to sell their condos, especially in older buildings, are having a tough go at it and are stuck. While many are struggling to pay bills and reverting to credit cards for essentials, the big Wall Street banks keep upping bonuses. Debt underwriters will probably see boost of 25 to 35% in incentives, and those involved with IPOs 20 to 30%. Just selling equities will probably get those managers 10 to 15% more than last year. The main 6 banks, JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, and Wells Fargo, all reported higher revenues in investment banking in the second quarter. Here are the bigs for next week. Monday, it's International Youth Day, and that's about it. Nothing big in the market. Tuesday, the U.S. PPI and the New Zealand rate decision are out. Wednesday and Thursday are the big days. On Wednesday, it's National Financial Awareness Day, and the U.K. has their CPI report. The U.S. has their CPI report, and the U.S. crude oil inventories, and the Japan GDP. On Thursday, Italy markets are closed for Assumption Day, India markets are closed for Independence Day, and South Korea is closed for Liberation Day. Also, we had the UK GDP report, the US retail sales report, initial jobless claims, and the Philly Fed manufacturing index. And on Friday, there's nothing much going on then either, but Saturday is World Honeybee Day. Trade while you're sleeping across time zones with Arbitrage Trade Assist. Sign up today at arbitragetrade.com. Arbitrage Trade is your trusted source for business, finance, and tech info.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now,
We've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses.
It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures. Investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that,
Save it. The falsehoods, the feelings of fault. Then the funds.
learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
Hi, Caroline.
Hello, Darin.
Hey, I guess I've lost my superpower. I can't speak anymore.
Oh, no. What's happened?
I don't know. Could I have the yips?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, that was a terrible introduction. Anyway, you talked about that this week.
Yes.
It is, what are the yips? So can I sing yippity-doo-dah, yippity, all week when I saw that blog. That's what I know it sounds terrible.
Now that'll just be stuck in my head.
Yes, you're welcome for the whole weekend.
Yes, I will be singing that in my head.
So let's answer that question first, and then we'll move from there. So what the heck are the yips?
So the yips is a term that's been used mostly in sports is where I've heard it before, but it can also be used for musicians or anything that needs a very fine motor skill. But it's used to describe a sudden loss of the ability to perform certain skills that had almost become automatic, like something you might not think about, like a golfer trying to make a putt or a podcaster trying to start a new segment.
I don't know. Maybe that's something else. Go ahead.
Fine motor skills, instruments, or things like that.
So you're saying physical things.
Yes.
But I would think maybe that's somehow connected to mental as well, but we'll get into that.
Yes, we will.
You brought up a couple of good examples, a couple of athletes.
Yes.
First was, since here we are, even when you do a one-off type thing, you're going to include the Olympics. So,
I have to.
So
It's
Simone
almost over
Biles,
there.
who's kind of
Yes.
good at what she does.
Just a little bit.
But in 2020, she had a case of the yips.
Yes, she did. They called it the twisties a lot of times in gymnastics because it happened when she was doing twists, not the flips, but the twists. So yeah, she got lost in the air, is what some people said. That's kind of what it looked like.
Is there video out there, I guess?
Yes.
That happening?
Yes.
I have not seen that.
Oh, yes. You can see, and just like when she lands from her vault, it's like she didn't know where the mat was. She landed awkwardly and just came off the mat looking almost lost.
Could be scary.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, very scary, I would imagine. I've never been a gymnast, but I would imagine that would be extraordinarily scary.
Well, and then you mentioned also, and it's weird because I may have lost my superpower, but I evidently have some type of ESP or something going on, because today I had forgotten that you wrote about these things within your article, but I wore a St. Louis hat. Yes. And I have a shirt that you can read it out for everybody.
It says, I used to have superhuman powers, but my therapists took them away.
Yes. Or maybe in this case, your therapist gives it back to you, sort of. So it's the opposite of this shirt. But anyway, you also mentioned Rick Ankiel, which I remember, but you had more to the story that I didn't even know. So I bow my head and in shame because I didn't know the rest of the story.
Well,
so tell me about Rick Ankiel.
Yeah, so I actually heard about this on a podcast. I heard an interview with him, and that's what made me decide to go and write about this, because I learned a lot from it. So if you didn't know, he was a baseball player. He was drafted very young, around age 20, into the majors, and he was a pitcher, which can be a pretty hard position to play. From, again, I'm not a pitcher, but from what I understand. And he did great his first year, played with the Cardinals. You referenced your St. Louis hat.
That's it.
And he was pitching in the first round of the World Series. And made it through several innings, was doing great, and all of a sudden he had a wild pitch.
Yes.
Okay, well, that happens to pitchers.
Of course,
they can have a wild pitch. It didn't get better. And he was pulled out of the game. Coaches trying to show confidence in him, put him out there, started the next game, and the same thing happened. Couldn't even get one good pitch in. And so he had the yips, and it's kind of almost like this lore in sports. No one wants to say it out loud. Like if you say it out loud, you're
Don't
admitting
say Fight
there's a
Club or
problem.
yips.
Yes, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Or Bruno.
No, we don't talk about Bruno. That's right. Yeah. So anyway, trying to make a long story kind of short, he went back to his pitching coach. He went to a sports psychologist. He went down to the minor leagues, played there for a few years.
Go Memphis Redbirds. Go ahead.
Right. Go Redbirds. And he never really got his pitch back. And he ended up retiring. And then he got a call from his agent asking if he wanted to play outfield. And now me, I watch a little bit of baseball, but I'm not a huge baseball person.
Right.
But going from pitching to playing outfield is not something that happens often.
No.
And it's like a completely different skill set, even though it's the same
I've seen the opposite. I've seen that outfielder go to pitcher.
Okay.
But yeah, when you're throwing a long ball into like home plate or even to the infield, there's similar movements. So that's why it's interesting that you're saying that he was going to try outfield now.
Yes.
So obviously there's different muscle groups used here.
Absolutely.
But it's just, that's an amazing thing. And it sounds like something out of a movie.
I mean, they really should make a movie out of this. He ended
Probably
up coming back, started outfielding again in the minor leagues.
Right.
Worked his way back up to the Cardinals, played outfield, did a great job. He still couldn't pitch.
Yeah.
Even when he was back with the Cardinals playing outfielder, he still could not make those pitches like he used to.
Gotcha. So, again, I think you mentioned that it used to be everybody thought it was a psychological thing.
Right. All mental.
Yeah. It's
just
all
like
mental.
mental
So just shake out of it and get out there and pitch.
Yeah. Right. That's
but
what people
then
thought.
as we've progressed in our studies, I guess, we found out that it is also muscle overuse.
Yes,
which is a physical thing. So, and
it's
then
a
it's really
neurological.
Neurological. It's a combination of both, really.
Right.
I mean, physical and mental.
Yes.
And you mentioned things like Parkinson's and Tourette syndrome and essential tremor. That's a new one for me. What's essential tremor?
I didn't actually look it up.
Yeah. Okay.
But
it's probably just like somebody that trembles all the time.
Right. It's a neurological movement disorder,
which I've seen. I just know it's called essential tremor. And then you mentioned that people try to mask it some with like Botox and
to try to help with the tremors and things.
And that does, I guess, sort of get rid of the physical aspect of it. Is that what you're getting at? Or?
Yeah, somewhat. This with the yips, a neurologist has called it dystonia.
Yeah,
in which these involuntary movements, like you don't really notice like the small muscle movements you're doing right before you pitch or putt or whatever, it's just involuntary, triggered by that very specific task. And so that's the dystonia. So the things like Botox and some medicines can help blunt the effects of some of those tremors, but it doesn't fix the underlying neurological issue.
It's just a mask.
It's kind of like a Band-Aid, or a mask.
Or a Band-Aid, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it sounds like we still have a lot more to learn in this category.
A whole lot more. I hope
and how to treat it.
I hope they can expand research. I grew up playing violin. And so,
I was about to go there.
with musicians as well, they might not be able to play the flute, but they could play the saxophone or something like that. So I hope that they are able to expand it. Sports obviously brings in more money, so it gets more research and things, but hopefully it can still be applied to others as well.
That's interesting, though. I mean, I was in the band as well, and it would have been weird to go from trombone to, I don't know, drums or something, but I can see that it uses different muscles.
Right.
So it's like, well, that muscle's no good anymore, so now I'll start using this muscle to do that.
Right.
And so I'll just move on until I run out of muscles and/or instruments.
Yes, and then you got to move on to sports.
That's right. Well, done here. Well, we are also done here. I appreciate you coming in, Caroline, and you always bring something very interesting, stuff that I know a little bit about, and then once you're gone, I know a lot more about.
Well, I try. That's the teacher in me.
Absolutely. That's right. So have a good weekend, and we will see you back next week.
See you next week.
All right, bye.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. Hungry kids get sick more often and can struggle in school. It can be harder for them to focus and learn. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures.
We want to ensure that all of our kids have healthy meals every day.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping feed our kids.
To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
This week's winner and loser in the markets. The loser is Next Decade Corporation, that's NEXT. They are headquartered in Texas, and they're a development company which focus on liquefied natural gas, LNG, export projects, and associated pipelines. Monday, Next opened at $8.27, but on Tuesday, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit issued an order vacating the Federal Energy Regulation Commission's remand authorization of Next Decade Corporation's Rio Grande LNG facility on the grounds that the FERC should have issued a supplemental environmental impact statement during its remand process. In summary, bad news. The stock has plummeted down as far as $4.78 yesterday. 52-week high of $8.52, 52-week low of $4.01. The winner is Lumen Technologies, or LUMN. They are headquartered in Louisiana, and they are an investment holding company that provide integrated communications to residential and business customers. LUMN started the week $2.85 and ran up as high as $9.61 on Tuesday during their ER. The telecommunications company boosted its annual free cash flow forecast due to demand related to artificial intelligence, of course. The magical two letters. 52-week high $7.83, 52-week low of 78 cents. Visit arbitragetrade.com and learn about Pips, our AI bot, who lets you stop watching and start living. We're not financial advisors. We provide an AI bot algorithm service. Thank you for joining us today for another edition of Arbitrage Weekend News. Log into arbitragetrade.com to read our wide variety of blogs and educate yourself on Trade Assist and Forex trading, or even how to make passive money with our Trade Assist Affiliate Marketer program. You can even get to know our cute little AI bot called Pips.
Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is a privately held research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the contents of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to function as investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC, please visit arbitragetrade.com.